please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody had a nice time. Just like some nice time. Maybe you weren't on vacation, but at least it was quiet, right? You just got to switch up the routine a little bit. But it's good to be back. It is good to be back. I'm healthy for the moment, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I missed it, guys. I missed it. There were multiple times where I had to force myself not to do stuff because I really missed doing stuff. And there was so much happening. The last week was bonkers. But more importantly, enough about me. We got Sneeps in the chat. We got Boston Base up in here. Snoopaloo says it's National Welcome Back Mike Day, which is well-timed, well-timed. Jump Shoots in the chat. Yes, happy birthday, Top Shot. Sneeps, we got the Common Man's here. Who else we got? Maddie Harrison said, when I was a toddler, my grandparents who saw me almost every day went on a 2-week vacation when they came back. I hid behind the couch because I was so mad they left me. Same feeling today. We got a little energy from that, our dog. We picked our dog up when we flew back into Boston and then went to spend the night with my family. So because they watched the dog while we were gone to save us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And the dog was freaking out, so pumped we were back because it's the longest we've been away from him for a long time, both of us anyways. And then the next day he was kind of like, you sons of bitches. But it's good. It's good to have him back. But so I'm sorry, Maddie. I hope you can get over it. Skeets is in the chat. Good morning, Skeets. Patrick's here. Yeah, it's been 84 years. Grote also just right off the top rope this morning. We're going to talk about all the stuff that I missed, but Ayton and Time Lord greater than Allen and Mobley. It's just, that's so aggressive this morning. I don't even know. Stubbs is here. Good morning. We got welcome back Mike from JJL Smith. And then a little Irish from Garen. Top of the morning to you. We got Homies here. T-Man Hugo. Bowdivine, welcome back. We got Gershad here. Mike looking more pale than ever. Welcome back. Which is ironic. I think it might be the lighting because we got a lot of sunny days in Ireland. I spent a lot of time outside. Yeah, the Irish tan. There we go. Raptor News here. Matic Auto. Jordan, let's go. Yes. All right. We're back. We are back. All right. I got through all the chat. We had an excellent time. I'll be honest. Ireland was incredible. I'm ready to move there. Dublin was great. Everybody told me you don't need to do Dublin. So then what that ended up doing was lowering the bar of Dublin, and I had a wonderful time. So we spent a couple days in Dublin. It was great. But then it really felt like the trip kicked off when we get to Galway. Galway was Galway was it was like everything got a little prettier every time we went to a new spot. Galway was great. And then we ended the trip at a wedding in Dingle, and it was beautiful. Dingle is one of the coolest little towns I've ever seen in my entire life. Maddie says Ireland probably has better Wi-Fi. Is the Wi-Fi down already? I feel like we were vibing. I had good connections. But yeah, Ireland was just incredible. And everybody came back with COVID. Everybody but me so far. Everybody but me. The Joe Rogan stuff is just keeping me strong. But yeah, everybody's down bad right now on the trip. So I was proud to be a part of a super spreader event. Unfortunately, it was not Top Shot that was spreading. It was COVID. But it's good to be back. I mean, so much happened in Like the second I left, it felt like everything was chaos. And I got to tell you, I was with a group of people that could just give fuck all about basketball. And so we were out to dinner. We were out to dinner on what night was it? Our first night in Galway, I think. We went to this really cool tapas restaurant. It was a really, again, Galway had some of the best food too. But anyways, this really great restaurant. And, I did a good job of staying off my phone for the most part. But I started getting like ding 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 ding. Ding. It started getting hit a bunch, and the news went out that the Dame trade went through. And I'm trying to be polite, but now I'm like poking at my phone a little bit. And they're all college friends. Okay, this is between us now. I think the door is shut. They're all college friends. Okay, I was a little bit of an outsider in the group, and so I'm on the edge of the table. It's like, okay, I'll look at my phone a little bit. Okay, I'll just like poke around, not a big deal. But apparently, I looked at my phone like this, and they were concerned that somebody died, or that I received news that like my best friend was getting canceled or something along those lines. Like there was some real concern amongst the masses that were at dinner with us. And I had to explain like, oh no, Damian Lillard got traded and went to the Milwaukee Bucks, which was surprising. And that gave a look of blankness from them. No one gave a shit. And then so after dinner, I was like, okay, I need to be with the people. There's got to be somebody in Galway that gives a damn about this trade going down. And I just started going bar to bar, pub to pub, just trying to find anybody to connect with to talk about this, and nothing. I got nothing. So I've just been eating these Damian Lillard feelings for a long time. Actually, that's not totally fair. Kelsey's excited. Kelsey loves basketball, so we at least get to talk to her about it. But it was, yeah. But bottom line says this is me every family dinner. I know. But Dame goes to Milwaukee, and it was just it was funny because it was so clear to me, right, that well, first let's just I know everybody's already done like 5 emergency podcasts since then, but maybe you don't listen to anything but me. Maybe you are a real one. But right, so Dame goes to Milwaukee. I feel like we had to talk about the trades together because of all the stuff that Portland got. But I think Milwaukee just being so surprising, it just, I don't know, when you expect something to happen. We knew he was going to get traded, but there was something so bizarre about him going to Milwaukee. And I believe it was somebody over at Yahoo, Jake, blanking on his last name, Fisher, was saying like, oh, there were some rumblings that it was going to be Milwaukee a couple of days before. But it was just so like stunning that that's what happened. And then I know that fake Twitter account, the Dimes. What's the one? The fake one that always knows the trades ahead of time. So they called the Ayton and Nurkic thing being a part of it. And again, I know everyone's already talked about this to death. I'm like so confused about the Phoenix stuff. So let me just hit it real quick so that I can stop like rambling all over the place here. Right. So the Portland gets out of all their trades so far. And again, they still have Malcolm Brogdon to move if they so choose, but they received DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, Tamani Kamara, 3 first-round picks, a 2024 Golden State top 4 protected, 2029 Bucks and Celtics unprotected, and 2028 and 2030 Milwaukee pick swaps. The Suns end up landing with Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, Yusuf Nurkic, and Keon Johnson, while the Celtics, they get our boy Drew Holiday. And listen, the East just got so damn fun, at least at the top 2, if you are a Bucks fan or a Celtics fan, or you're just not a fan of the Eastern Conference. If you're a Western Conference fan, you could probably enjoy the competitive nature between these top 2 teams. However, if you are a fan of, say, the Sixers or the Miami Heat, or just literally anybody else, that's probably a bummer. But good Lord, that just got so spicy, and it was kind of fun. It seemed like no one was allowed to be excited about either of these moves for both Milwaukee or Boston, where every bit of excitement also came with caveats, right? Like they were like, wow, dude, can you imagine that closing 5 of Kristaps Porzingis, of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Derek White. But immediately everybody's like, you know what? Actually, this is very bad. This is very bad that they have no depth. They've got no front court. How are they going to stop Giannis? They don't have Grant Williams. I also think the Grant Williams conversation is so funny. I'm a Grant fan. I like Grant Williams. I think he's a good clubhouse guy, even though he's a little hero of himself sometimes, a la Batman. But like the whole thing with Grant Williams is the Celtics literally stopped playing him. Joe Mazzulla didn't play him for like months at a time. They were healthy scratches, DNPs, getting like 3 minutes a game. Then all of a sudden we come to the playoffs and he starts playing again. And again, I do think Grant Williams is a good defender. I think he was like our best option on Giannis. But like everybody's saying like, dude, what a terrible loss. I'm like, well, dude, we didn't play him. He couldn't be that big of a loss if we didn't play him. So anyways, I just wish people would pump the brakes a little bit on that on the Celtics side of things. They reading some of the tea leaves from some of the reports from Media Day, and I think Jay King put something out there about this, but the Celtics seem pretty excited about Luke Cornett as their backup big. Shout out Sneeps. I know he's a big Cornett bro. They signed Wenyen Gabriel, which I know are so rare bags, right? Actually, Jeb Bush is out there being like, dude, Gabriel's about the moon. Blake Griffin still hasn't really signed anywhere else. They still have some other options to make. Options that they can move around with. And then Peyton Pritchard, PP, our man Peyton Pritchard, he was pretty loud last year, wanted to get out of there, wanted a chance to actually play some basketball. And it seems like the Celtics are like, okay, here you go. We got rid of most of our guard depth. Malcolm Brogdon, Marcus Smart are gone. Assuming, maybe sometimes Derek White comes off the bench, maybe sometimes Drew Holiday comes off the bench, but Peyton Pritchard is their third guard now, and I imagine his minutes are going to cook a little bit. So that's kind of fun to monitor. The one thing I will say about the Celtics before I move to the Bucks, and then we'll hit everybody on here too, but is they are now just like aggressively in the second apron, right? We saw what Phoenix Suns was doing. The Phoenix Suns were out there being like, listen, we're just going to buy everybody. We're not worried about the new CBA. It's not a problem. And everybody made fun of them a lot. Well, the Celtics are now dipping their toes into holy crap land, right? So they are well over that second apron now, right? They extended Jaylen Brown. So they're paying him, I think, $1 bazillion. Porzingis already got extended. Tatum will be getting $1 bazillion next season with his extension. Drew Holiday, I believe, like the plan, I'm assuming they're not giving up Time Lord Brogdon and all those picks for a 1-year rental. So you got to assume Drew Holiday is going to get an extension. And then Derek White still has 2 years left, but you got to imagine that's going to be talked about. Now, whether that means Derek White gets moved next season or just gets re-signed. But anyways, the Celtics, they lose like their mid-level exceptions. They lose a lot of stuff and are now hamstrung. So they are like, they have to win now. Like now is the time they got to win. But as a Celtics fan, I'm pretty excited. Tesla said Zinger over under 55 games would be my biggest concern. Yeah, that's totally fair. But I think what's kind of nice, like you just need, and now I'm about to compare him to Chris Paul, which is dangerous because Chris Paul just never figures it out health-wise. But you just need him healthy in the spring. This Celtics team is talented enough. Like I was joking, you could start me at the 5 and we're still going to win 45 games. With me at the 5. So they just have enough talent between like that Tatum. I like those guys can take nights off and they're still going to win a lot of regular season games. And then you look at the rest of the Eastern Conference, everybody around them has gotten worse except for the Milwaukee Bucks so far, right? I mean, the Sixers are in a weird spot. We'll talk more about Media Day in a little bit, but James Harden no-showed. I don't know if he's traveling to Colorado, so he's all of a sudden going to start accruing fines. And there's no move really that they're like the Sixers aren't going to get better by moving James Harden. This is how down bad the Sixers are right now. Yesterday, they were talking about how they're excited to have Tobias Harris do a little bit more ball handling and get a little bit more involved in the offense. If that is the type of hopium you are inhaling right now, it's not great, Bob. Tobias Harris is very exciting when we're like, oh man, Tobias is our 4th or 5th best guy. If we're now saying clear out ISO Harris, we are boned. So the Sixers are down bad. Miami Heat, man, I can't tell what's worse right now. The Miami Heat fans or the Miami Heat media. Dan Levitard, I'm a big Levitard fan. I like him a lot. What is going on? This is now some real QAnon January 6th type stuff where they're like, the mainstream coach and general manager media is the reason no one is trading anybody to Miami, right? Like, what are we talking about? So Joe Crow, I already laid out all of the different stuff that Phoenix got back from that Damian Lillard trade. Let's do it one more time for the people that weren't listening or don't really care. DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, Brogdon, Toumani Camara, 3 first-round picks. The 2024 Golden State top 4 protected, 2 first-round picks one from the Bucks, 1 from the Celtics, both unprotected in 2029, and then 2028 and 2030 Milwaukee pick swaps. And they can still move Brogdon for more stuff because Brogdon is not going to be playing a lot of basketball for the Portland Trail Blazers. In what world are they getting more for that in Miami? And from Brian Windhorst, from his reporting, it sounds like Tyler Hero wasn't even on the table. So like, what? I don't understand. Why are we mad? Why is Miami mad? Well, who hurt you, Miami? So anyways, Sixers are a little bit worse. Miami's a little bit worse. The Knicks are still the Knicks, right? They picked up Dante DiVincenzo, right? They get the Villanova starting five. They're going to be fine. They'll still be fine. The Cavs are fine, although they got the Donovan Mitchell stuff hanging over them, right? Anyways, I think the Celtics and Bucks clearly are going to be the top two teams in the East. That's not a hot take. I think everybody feels that way. On the Bucks side of things, man, if Middleton is healthy, if Middleton is like right and he's your third best guy, that's pretty exciting. And I know there's a lot of concern with the defense, right? Because Brook Lopez is roughly my age, and they're like, well, at some point, Brook Lopez is going to break down. As long as they are good to go when they get to the finals. And I know Nick Nurse is the coach of the Sixers. I'm sorry. So as long as they're not just firing out Brook Lopez, playing him like 38 minutes a game, you just got to get to April. You get to April, have your guys ready to go. I think they're going to be fine. I don't know how they're going to stop them offensively. Giannis could probably focus a little bit more on defense now that they have someone who can play offense for them, right? They have someone who's like a true point guard, a true ball handler that can create his own offense. They have somebody that can actually last 4 minutes of the game, somebody that can close out games, right? I was going to call him John Rocker for a second, right? That he just comes sprinting out of the bullpen, but I don't think he's going to be John Rocker. That's a bad one. The Bucks perimeter defense is a real concern, says Weisberg. Yeah, for sure. But I don't know who's exploiting that until June. You know what I mean? Who are the teams that are exploiting that also can take care of what problem they are going? You know what I'm saying? To me, it seems like there's a real top tier of Denver, Milwaukee, and Boston. And I'm sorry, and we can talk about Phoenix now a little bit. I'm not putting Phoenix in that tier. I don't know. I just don't buy it. And I know, so this is a good transition to talk about DeAndre Ayton for a second. Listen, maybe it's because of my decade experience of working with young adults as they mature into good men. It just felt too early to just punt. And I'm not in the locker room. I don't know how much of a prick he is. I know there's concerns that he, in the playoffs, he just was like, I can't play game 6, right? Like, I'm sure there's a lot going on there, but the dude is young. He's a number 1 pick, and he has a higher ceiling and a higher floor, in my opinion, than Yusuf Nurkic. Like, Yusuf Nurkic doesn't play basketball anymore. And when he and there was a lot of people, he brings a toughness, he brings a grit. Right, because the famously gritty defensive nature the Portland Trailblazers played with. In what world? And listen, he's a Bosnian. I love Bosnians. All right. My best friend's Bosnian, grew up there. So we always rooted for Nurkic. We thought it was fun. The Bosnian beast. But he's not. It's not the same dude anymore. And I know he's actually younger than you think, but he just doesn't play. So you are now betting on a team built around Bradley Beal, who is in love with health and safety protocols. Kevin Durant, who hasn't played a full real season in a long time. Devin Booker, who I know was a little freaky with his injury stuff last year, but Devin Booker, I'm fine with. And then Yusuf Nurkic, and everyone else is like, yeah, but dude, they built that depth up. Nobody does it like them. With who, though? Grayson Allen, who we just got done making fun of this past postseason because he couldn't stay on the court and had one of like the worst plus minuses, I think, in like postseason history. Eric Gordon. Yeah, Eric Gordon's nice. I do like Eric Gordon. I think that's nice if he's like your 7th or 8th guy. He's your 6th guy, though. He's your first guy off the bench. Maybe he's your 5th guy, actually. Bol, who, listen, we love Bol. We like to do drops for Bol. Bol's a lot of fun. Bol hasn't been able to stay on teams. Keita Bates-Diop. That's what we are now listing guys that we buy on So Rare for like $1, just so we can like fit somebody in when the whole team has COVID and all of a sudden they're going to play 28 minutes. That's not really how I'm trying to build a championship caliber team. So I'm sorry. I'm not putting Phoenix in that tier. I still think Phoenix is going to be really good, but I think when push comes to shove, I'm not taking Phoenix. I'm not. And I'm ready to take a fat L on this one. I am. I'm sure I'll be proven wrong. If they run pure health-wise, injury-wise, and everybody's playing 65 games, everybody's healthy when they get to the playoffs, sure, maybe I'll be proven wrong. But I just don't see it. I don't see they're gonna have to score 165 points a game, and they have the dudes to do it. But I mean, we haven't seen Bradley Beal like play real basketball in a while. I don't know. Yeah, I've heard a lot of this too. Tesla says think it's more about addition by subtraction. Aiden clearly was not interested in playing a specific role. Maybe, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just think maybe this is what they needed to do. Obviously, I'm not in the locker room, obviously, but I'm not. I think that was a bad move. I think that was a bad move. And yeah, New Swami, I'm with you too. I'm taking the Lakers over the Suns. I'm taking the Nuggets over the Suns. I don't know. Maybe even take the Warriors over the Suns. Anyways, that was all the excitement from that trade. Those trades, I mean, it was just a crazy, what a crazy week. I mean, it really shook things up. It felt like we were edging for like 2 months, right? It's like, dude, no nut November as we were waiting for all these trades to come. And then all of a sudden we're like, whoa, right? Like all in like a few day run. It was just crazy. I leave the country and then everything gets wild. Ayton's comments at media day were pretty weird. DeAndre Ayton did say he's going to be, his new name is Dominating, which I was like, oh God, the writer's room in there was great. But I'm excited for Portland. Portland got all those assets they can. I think they're still going to be frisky this year too. You think about like who they're rolling out there, right? You get Shaedon Sharpe. Maybe he takes a little bit of a leap. We've already seen what Simons can do. You get the number 3 pick overall, Scoot Henderson, who should have been the number 2 pick. Shout out Charlotte Hornets. You've got Jeremy Grant, who's making $4.5 billion. Now you get DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams. Like, I mean, they've got fun pieces where, like, I will watch them on League Pass. They're probably going to lose a bunch of games, but I feel like they're going to be, I don't know, they got a little Utah Jazz in them from last year, right? I think they're going to be fun. So if I'm Portland, I'm excited to talk to some Portland fans. We're having Ian Carmel come on the show for our opening day show, which I'm very excited about, who is a very funny comedian and a wild Portland Trailblazers fan. So I'm excited to have him come on and get his take from it. But it's gonna be good. Yeah, the Hornets signed Mr. Beast's brands yesterday. Dude, man, the Hornets are just the fucking worst, right? Just the nut low all around. I want Mark Williams to get traded so I don't I just like I hate it. I hate everything they do. I hate the Miles Bridges energy. Kai Jones out there wilding. It's just a lot of crazy stuff. All right, speaking of crazy stuff, I did want to hit something. Pablo Torre had an interview with Ezra Elderman. I missed this. This was over, I think this was Friday, maybe. And the information about what happened with Jordan Poole and Draymond came out. And listen, there was so much speculating, right? There was so much speculating about what was said. Was it over? What was it over? What was actually said that forced Draymond Green to whop Jordan Poole? And Jordan Poole called him an expensive backpack for 30. An expensive backpack for 30. Now, I do think that's an insult. He's basically just saying, and by 30, he means Steph Curry, right? Number 30. So he's just calling him an accessory. Now, that is mean. But I thought for sure it was something worse than that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, maybe I'm only seeing the 60-second clip. I gotta continue to watch. And I agree. It is a great line. It is a great line. It's very funny. I just don't know. I don't know if that's causing me to hit somebody. So I'm sure there was some other stuff building up to it. But wow. A great backpack for 30. And then that was followed by Jordan Poole being ass and then going to Washington. Yeah, it did hurt his pride. It did. I thought it was something about family. No, backpack. Golden State family. Backpack for 30. I'm trying to think, like, what do you guys have what's like the worst insult somebody has said to you? I'm gonna keep it clean. Don't get too wild. I'm trying. Somebody used to call me Banana Republic when I played basketball. I got Banana Republic a lot when I played, and when I played here in New York. And I never really understood that one because I feel like if you went with Old Navy, that would be a little bit more offensive because Banana Republic actually sounds like I have a decent game, because they're owned by the same family and Banana Republic's like a step up from Old Navy. So I always thought that was more of a compliment, but they were saying it like in a negative way. And I never really got it. And everybody would always laugh. And I was like, I don't understand. But yeah, that's the one that I used to get a lot. And I'll take it. I'll Banana Republic. I don't mind. Walking Tree. That's pretty good. Audubon City was called a Walking Tree. All right. I like that one. Whew. All right, let's take a little break here. We were going hard. And then I'll catch up on some of the other things you guys said. Let's take a break. We got So Rare around the corner, right? So let's do a little ad read for So Rare. Today's NBA bit is brought to you by So Rare. Daily fantasy sports is annoying. Constantly paying attention to injury news, who's starting, who's sitting, and just having to remember to enter your lineups each and every day. With So Rare, you just have to enter your lineup once for each game week. And instead of having to pay an entry fee each time you enter a contest with So Rare, once you buy your cards, the tournaments are free. Each game week, you'll have a chance to win more card rewards to bolster up your roster. And this year, So Rare is introducing cash prizes. So sign up for So Rare today using the link in the description, and they'll start you with 20 free common cards. And by using our link, once you buy 5 cards from auction, they'll give you a 6th one free. So sign up for So Rare today and see if you can take down Mike Sorarian. All right, we're back. We'll talk a little bit more about So Rare here towards the end as we get a little bit closer. All right, Patrick used to get called freckled face in 3rd grade, and that used to hurt. Okay, that's tough. Sneep said naked mole rat from Kim Possible. It's always harder when it's specific. When it's real specific, that always makes it harder. One time a girl I said I was baby cute, not like man cute. Okay, that's tough. Is it in? All right, Grote. Wow. I had someone say I couldn't go or hear left, which is hilarious if wrong because I'm deaf in my right ear. Wasn't mad at it though. I couldn't go or hear left. Oh, hear left. Okay, I got you. Those are all good. Yeah, continue to share. Do me a favor, like the video and subscribe if you haven't done so yet, just to keep the people up to date. Listen, when we took 9 days off, 10 days off, I thought for sure we were going to lose some subs, but we gained 50 while we were gone. We're at 10,280. We're creeping on up to 10,300. So it's good to keep grinding. And a little just, news and notes update for what Team Hold's got going on. We're back. So the bit's back every day this week. We will be here tomorrow morning at 9 because I'm not hosting my show tonight because everybody got COVID. So I can't, just in case, you got to play it safe. So I'm not going to be hosting. So I'll be here tomorrow morning at 9. Shot Tank will be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. We're going to try to squeeze in an 89 Cavs this week. Also, we're going to the WNBA Finals sometime next week, I think, as well, for Game 3 when the Liberty play the Aces, which I'm pretty excited about. But our normal content is back. I'm going to be trying to do a So Rare show later this week as well. And then speaking of which, our opening day show, I'm sure you've seen the announcement. We posted that before we left. But on the 24th, we will be live from the So Rare studios from noon till 8 p.m. or tip of the first game. We've got a bunch of different guests lined up. I can hit you with some. Here's who we've got lined up at the moment. I'll let you know. I'll give you a little alpha. Let me go through let me pull this up here. I haven't looked at this in a while. So some of you might know these, some of you might not. So I already mentioned Ian Carmel, right? Who used to be the head writer for Corden, a really funny comedian. We'll have the 89 Cavs as well. We'll have Keith Parrish from Fast Break Breakfast, Andrew Schlecht from Down to Dunk and from The Athletic. We're going to have our friend J.E. Skeets on the show. We've also got Adam Mayers from DNVR. If you are a fan of DNVR or the Nuggets or all that fun stuff, that will be good. Katie Heindel is going to be coming back from Basketball Feelings, and she writes all great stuff. She was one of my favorite guests from last year. That was a lot of fun. And then our big one that I'm pretty excited about this one. Did I hit everybody else so far? We'll obviously have John from So Rare on the show, but newly acquired from The Ringer, Howard Beck is going to be coming on as well. So we're going to be having a good show. I'm very excited about it. So make sure you have your calendars circled, as Dylan Brooks has his calendar circled for all the Memphis Grizzlies games this year. He mentioned that yesterday. But yeah, so we'll have that circled for the 24th. We're going to have a great old time. We'll have some fun. We'll have some fun guests. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Howard freaking Beck. We love to see it. Yeah. So that we're gonna have a fun show. I'm really excited about it. All right. Why your dad said I wasn't following last year. Can you tell you what you do for this NBA, some DFS content, underdog drafts? Yeah. So what we do for So Rare, anyways, and why you dad. I don't know if you've messed around with So Rare. That's kind of where I put a lot of my DFS style focus into, especially because they announced they're going to have a daily contest as well. But we do a live before lock show on Mondays and Fridays because that's where their game week locks. So at 5:30 Eastern on Monday and Friday, we do like a deep dive into all of the projections for the week and all that stuff. For underdog stuff, I'm going to have a pick 'em of the day every day for the morning show. And then on Fridays, we're going to do a happy hour show that's going to do a lot of those like daily drafts and stuff like that. I'm also going to start doing a little bit more streaming around best ball as we're getting closer to that. All right. I think that's it. I think that's it for some news and notes. A couple other things that I thought was, I mean, obviously we're going to talk about Jimmy Butler, man. Dude, Jimmy Butler is the commitment to the bit. That is what separates most comedians from the pack. Your ability to commit. You think about Conor O'Malley. I don't know if you guys know who Conor O'Malley is. Joe Pera, who's got a new special coming out. Nathan Fielder. How to with John Wilson. Those types of comedians who can like commit super hard. That is what Jimmy Butler is doing right now. For now to do this 2 consecutive years. Even if you are not a Jimmy Butler fan, maybe you're not a Miami Heat fan, maybe you're a Minnesota Timberwolves fan who he wildly disrespected this week. I don't know if you guys heard that, but Jimmy Butler was out there. He said, I played for these. Basically, it was like I played for the Chicago Bulls, some other team, the Sixers, and now the Miami Heat. Just wild. But he like to come out there to straighten his hair out like that. I'm going downtown, right? Like that. He had some real emo energy. Skeets fired out a bunch of very funny alternative band names for Jimmy Butler. Ball Out Boy was good. Was it just Jimmy Eat World? I forget what the Jimmy Eat World one. That was my favorite one, even though I said it was my favorite. Now I can't forget, but I just love Jimmy Eat World. I mean, it's just wonderful stuff. And what's beautiful about it, I know like there was some conversation like, why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? Well, now, just like we saw last year with the dreads, every photo the NBA uses, like the So Rare cards, all of that stuff is going to be that photo. It's going to be that look with the piercings and everything. I mean, the commitment, just so good. So good. So listen, Miami, maybe you didn't receive a single asset. You didn't improve your team at all. You lost 2 of your 5 starters from the NBA Finals. Kyle Lowry might be your starting point guard. Tyler Hero took social media off of he took the Miami off of his social media stuff. But guess what? You have Jimmy Butler, the funniest comedian in basketball right now. Sorry, Blake Griffin. Move over, Blake. I know you're just for laughs, bro. But Jimmy Butler now has the belt. Death Cab for Coffee. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Death Cab for Coffee is a really good one. That's good. Man, you know what is like, it's a real shock to the system. I loved all of those bands. I've been to so many Jimmy Eat World concerts. Just so many Jimmy Eat World concerts. Death Cab was a good one. Death Cab, I remember being introduced to Death Cab for Cutie because of My Tunes. You guys remember My Tunes? That's how old I am. My Tunes. You'd be in a college dorm. And you on that network, you could sync up to anybody else's iTunes and you could just download all their music. Incredible. I don't know how popular My Tunes was back in the day. What was the other one? There was another Napster obviously, but after Napster, My Tunes, what was the other one? Mike telling his residents not to pirate music. Dude, this was the early ages, bro. This was like 2004. There were no rules. The Red Sox won a World Series. We were just out here. Also, speaking of the Red Sox winning the World Series, I got to tell you guys, man, that Tim Wakefield stuff was just so sad. He's just that like he's such a like part of trying to find like the right words because it's not really my childhood, but like it was such an important part. I saw him pitch for the Boston Red Sox more than any other pitcher in my life. And for those that don't know, I went to college right outside of Fenway and would just go to games all the time. I would go to games all the time. I had a friend that worked there, so I was getting standing room like very easy. And it just so happened there were 2 pitchers that I wanted to see. And it was either Pedro or it was Tim Wakefield. Pedro was different because Pedro was like, holy crap. It's like seeing Tiger Woods golf in person. It's probably similar to like for some of you seeing like LeBron or like you saw Jordan play basketball. Like Pedro at that time was by far like the best pitcher. Like he was just incredible. But Tim Wakefield was the other side of the spectrum for that because there was just nothing like him. Like there was nothing like him. Nobody else pitched like that. You never knew what you were going to get. Like he could go out there and give up like 9 runs in the first inning, or he could like strike out 14. I mean, like, and everybody always talked about like the Aaron Boone, right? Because he was pitching in the 2003 ALCS when Aaron Boone hits that walk-off home run. But the fact that he was our closer, he was a knuckleball pitcher, and he was like out there pitching like 4 innings a game. He was such an incredible dude and just like such a beloved member of the community. And like all of those guys from those teams will have like a special place in everybody's heart for Red Sox fans. Like even Johnny Damon, who's now a bonkers person, but like Kevin Millar, Bill Miller, Mike Timlin, Alan Embry, like all of these dudes have like such a special place. But Tim Wakefield was like the guy, you know? And just an incredible story and was so sad. He was so young and it seemed to just happen so fast. I mean, for those that don't know too, he does like the Nesson is like, if you live in New England, that's like the sports broadcasting channel for like all of the local stuff. So they carry all the Red Sox games, but he's been doing the studio show for the Sox like this whole season. So it was just it just seemed to have happened so fast. And I believe his wife is battling pancreatic cancer. It was just kind of, yeah, it was just so sad. It was just so sad to see that happen so fast and to somebody that was like such a beloved dude in the community. But yeah, Tim Wakefield was the absolute GOAT. Well, he wasn't the absolute, you know what I'm saying? He was just like I'm trying to think of like what's a good example. He's just like such a staple to the team and the community. But anyway, so pour one out for Timmy Wakefield. I'm sorry, that was an aggressive pivot, but I was talking about my tunes when I was living in Boston, and so that's what reminded me of it. LimeWire was another one because there was no easy transition to go back to my tunes, but here we are. LimeWire because what else we got? What else did I miss here in the chat? Mark Bellhorn, kid. Mark fracking Bellhorn. Chad Walker. Yeah, I know I don't even want to talk about Kurt Schilling. Kurt Schilling go fuck himself. We're not going to talk about Kurt Schilling. Anyways, back to media day. I love Tyler Hero's comments too. He was like happy to. He said, what was the exact quote? It was something like, "I'm happy to be playing for basically throwing shade." He was like, "I want to play good basketball. Portland's not going to play good basketball." And I thought that was. I love that there's all this animosity now. I love that there's all this animosity that Damian Lillard didn't go to Miami. I didn't realize that was like. I don't know where the bad blood comes from. I don't know if it's because the agent was out there doing some weird stuff and like putting Portland in a tough spot. I also thought it was really funny. So, and I don't know how many people read like the full report. I believe it was Chris Haynes who put this out there. I don't know who read the full report of like Dame's like side of the story about what happened. But the idea that Dame requested a trade only to Miami and then like causes all of this chaos. And he has the right to cause the chaos, but causes all this chaos. And then 2 months later is like, you know what, JK, I want to come back. And then is like mad that the team doesn't want him to come back. It reminds me of that Boy Meets World episode where like Corey doesn't want to date Topanga anymore, needs to go out there, goes on a date with somebody. He's like, oh my God, through this date, I realized I'm supposed to be with Topanga. And then he goes back to Topanga and she's like, bro, I'm good. I'm all set. I'm sorry it took you that long to figure it out. And he's like, what? Yeah. Sorry, Dame. You don't have all the power all the time. This is what happened. You made your choice. This is just Boy Meets World. I also love my favorite thing so far. Damian Lillard tweets out. Basically, it says something about the casuals, whatever. And then he's like, I'll have more to say about this later. And then he's like, you want to really know how I feel? I just released a track. I love the idea. This is because I did something similar, and in retrospect, it's pretty embarrassing. But when I was moving out of Boston and moving to New York, I was performing comedy at the Improv Boston and Improv Asylum, and I had like one final show at Improv Boston. And instead of doing like an official going away party or anything like that, I was like, hey, buy tickets to my show. Come to my show. You can see me on stage. And that's like, what a douchebag move. Anyway, so yes, in some sense, I am also Damian Lillard. Best take, says Top Shot Tesla, was Dame held his kids instead of shaking his fans' hands. His heart's not in Milwaukee. LOL. Yeah. He basically victim blamed the Blazers, says Weisberg, saying he shouldn't come back. Yeah, it's just a weird. I guess there's no like clean way to do it. The closest thing I can think of is when the Celtics traded Pierce to Brooklyn, but everybody was kind of on the same page, right? Um, Everybody was kind of on the same page when that happened. I guess, he's been playing for the team for such a long time. He's got strong ties there, but I just like the whole idea of being salty about it. I don't really understand, especially when you're like, dude, trade me to this one team. But I don't know. I'm excited for when Milwaukee plays Portland for the first time. Apparently we're going to have to put Portland versus Miami on TNT, Merkermai says, I've always thought of you as very similar, Dame. Yeah, I get that a lot. Maddie says, took out an ad. I know that I took out an ad in the Herald to thank all the fans and shame the haters when he left for New York. God, I would love to do that someday, but do it in like a very local paper, like the Taunton Gazette or something like that. The the Brockton Enterprises, something like that, where we just, I would like, I had a great run. I guess I would have to do it in Queens whenever I move out of here. I don't know what the Queens local paper is. We gotta adjust the shades. I think we're getting a little sunlight. All right, let's take our second break. We'll be right back. Today's NBA bit is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy Sports. Whether you're drafting Luka first overall in best ball or fading Wemby blocks in the pick'ems, Underdog is where you'll find Team Hold. Sign up today at underdogfantasy.com or just click the link in the description to get started. And by signing up using promo code HOLD, HOLD, you will get a 100% deposit bonus match up to $100. That's a free honey. So sign up today using promo code HOLD, HOLD, and get started at underdogfantasy.com. All right, welcome back. Sign up for Underdog, promo code HOLD. I will say, there is going to be a little bit of value here, and we're going to monitor it closely. But for those that have been messing around with best ball on Underdog, I'll pull up Underdog right now. Get that free honey. But there has been the double dribble, right, is NBA best ball, and you just draft once. You don't have to think about it again. But one of the things that I noticed here in the drafts, and Underdog doesn't really promote basketball in the same way they promote everything else. And a lot of people are like, well, yeah, as we get closer to the basketball season, these will fill faster. But here's the thing. What's different now is, man, they are just pumping out so many different like week to week things, daily things. Like those are all becoming a little bit more popular. Like even we're 3 weeks away from the NBA season, exactly 21 days. I'm like, look how far you're going to scroll before you get to the basketball double dribble. It's all the way back here. It's right next to the hockey one. Now, let's see. It is right now at 32% full. Only 32% full. So I don't know. I just would, if this doesn't get to 100%, there's going to be a lot of like dead money in there, which is exciting if you are someone. I mean, it's bad for business because it means maybe next year the contest is a little bit smaller. But if this is going to stay, say if we can get this under 80, like 85% or less, I don't know, man. A lot of people talking about the Team Holding Gaming Discord. There hasn't been a message in there in 4 days, so like it's not as exciting as you think it is. But yeah, congrats to everybody that's been out in the gaming world. But anyway, so pay attention to that. Pay attention to Underdog if you're messing around in those streets. What was the other thing? I was gonna say something else right after that. Now I totally forgot. I don't know. What else you got? Did I miss anything else exciting? Top Shot had a birthday yesterday. People seemed really jacked up about that. They introduced Pack Marketplace. And here's the, not to be jock to fud. Obviously, the technology is pretty cool about that. And like, I'm glad that finally happened. But one of the things that I think people might have miscalculated or didn't realize until it went live is that I don't know how many people are excited about buying some of those older packs now, right? And when it was really exciting, right? When you were holding those like Series 1 packs, you're like, man, once I can sell this pack, this shit is gonna moon. So we'll go over to we're going to go over to OTM here a little bit and just kind of look at what the Series 1 stuff is doing. But the first thing I saw when I got back to the computer First thing I saw when I got back to the computer was a pack that recently was open that was purchased for $450 with the strip pack. And it ended up netting, I believe it was $43. Is that what it was? They received a Lou Williams base set Series 1 that's going for $4. They're seeing a Patrick Beverley Series 1 that's going for $4. They got to wait for it. Ish the Smith with the strip that's going for $14. They got a Danilo Gallinari going for $6, a BI, Brandon Ingram going for $11, and then everyone's favorite Langston Galloway going for $4. So I think it's a little bit tough right now for there to be any sort of excitement around it. Outside of that, the technology of it, pretty cool. So I'm glad that that's finally made its way to the platform. NFL All Day's had some fun with it. It's glad that it's here, but I don't know if it. I think when initially people were thinking about it, there seemed to be like, holy crap, I can't wait to get all my money back once that happens. But until like anybody cares, it's going to take a little while. Also, you know, the other thing I missed, Chris Treaticus is running for mayor. Chris Treat running for mayor, no longer a part of Connected and Collected or as an active member. It did make me wonder, is he no longer an active, like he can't do both? Or is he embarrassed about NBA Top Shot? We'll be right back. I'm just kidding. But anyways, let's go over to OTM here for a second. Let's go to OTM here for a second. Let's go look at the marketplace, and we'll look at Series 1 here for just a moment. This magic moment. All right, let's go. We'll look at the Series 1. Let's go look at the set, and it's going to be basic. And let's take a look. It's in a book, Reading Rainbow. All right. Can we see this ish? Not to be confused with this Schmidt. All right. So LeBron James back down to, oh, come on, girl. LeBron back down to 12.15. You've got the second LeBron at 5.99. Let's actually see how many moments are over 100. Ooh, baby. All right. So we got LeBron James at 135. That's 1. Kyrie, 2. SGA, 163. That's 3. Tatum, 175 is 4. Jokic, 201 is 5. Zion is 6. Giannis is 7. Ja is 8. Luka is 9. And then you get Steph, 10. LeBron, 11. LeBron, 12. 12 moments over $100. Zero mention of Drew Holiday by Mike Zakarian. That's how we started the fucking show, isn't it? Talking about how they got better. Anyways, there we go. That is where we're at right now. So I don't know. I mean, I'm same old, right? Like I don't think that anything has been going poorly. But I also, and like they seem to be building. The builders keep building. Everybody's building. So I don't know though. I mean, how are you guys feeling? How are you guys? Are you guys just like out there buying stuff? I know they had a deal yesterday. This was actually one of my favorite things that happens is they announced something, right? They're like, if you buy something off the marketplace, we'll send you a pack. And in that pack, you might get a legendary, which is very cool. I actually like that. I'm not making fun of that. What I am making fun of is then somebody who maybe is not aware of it, they'll go over to what's that? Crypto Slam. They'll go over to Crypto Slam and we'll see that they're like, oh my God, what's happening? Are the buyers back? Are we buying? Oh my God, there are 4,000 buyers on NBA Top Shot. And then they are like, oh yeah, it's because they said if you buy one little thing, you'll get a pack. So that was kind of funny to watch that happen. But yeah, big boom in buying over there in the Top Shot streets. Anyways, that's enough about Top Shot. So rare sponsors. Man, the sun. So Rare announced like a bunch of stuff, right? So they announced they came out again. Everything happened while I was in Ireland. They announced basically their plan for the season. They announced the cards, which I saw those cards early. The cards look pretty clean, if you ask me. But they announced the cards. They asked the new mint counts, right? So I believe it's 1, 10, 100, 1,000. So which is a considerable dip. Which like can you believe a company paying attention to scarcity in this economy? But that was pretty exciting. Wow, Bandy's yawning. Not interested, buddy boy. But yeah, that was pretty cool. the new daily contest that they announced too. I'm going to do like a full ass video on that a little bit later this week, but got me excited to play a little basketball, a little get ready for some fantasy sports again. But yeah, I think that's it. That's what we missed this week. Is there anything else you guys like what did I skip here? What did I miss? What did I miss? But if there's anything else you want to talk to, throw it in the chat. Also, you know what I did want to do? I wanted to share. I know I put it in the Discord. I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but our No Dunks friends suffered a little injury. Our friend Taz got into like a brutal accident and is on the mend, but just like some really scary stuff. And I don't know. It was really scary, really sad, but is getting a little bit better. And I obviously don't know too much. I know they covered it on the No Dunk Show. I just dropped a GoFundMe in the chat too. So if you get a little something extra laying around and want to help our friend out, please do so, because we're rooting for him. And listen, no disrespect to Skeets and Trey, but we need Tass out there, right? It's good seeing you and your pretty faces, but we miss our guy. So if you get a little something extra, put that in there. Put some prayers and good thoughts their way. We're rooting for you, man. But yeah, anything else pan to Taylor Swift in the box, and you've covered it. It's funny. That's like really eliciting a reaction, both to people being like, man, do you know how important football is now that Taylor Swift's involved? To the other side of it, we're like, this is all a publicity stunt. Dude, love is love is love. Okay. If Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce want to be together, then let it happen. Let it happen. Ooh, Skeet saying we'll share an update on Test today on No Dunks, which is at noon today. New time for the bros, huh? Noon. Who should I add to my rare so rare lineup? Biggest, you should add Mark Williams. Mark Williams. There was a tweet that was put out today about the dudes that like gained the most weight this offseason. Mark Williams. He was up there. He's on the list. Put on like 12 to 15 pounds or something. I'm big on Mark Williams, especially because Kai Jones, I don't know if he's going to be playing for the Hornets this year because he's been dancing. So I'm big on Mark Williams. I think Zach Collins is a little sneaky. I did a video on that actually a couple weeks ago, so check that out. But I'll have I will have a so rare video for you later this week too. Only T Swift can save all day. Oh man, I didn't even think about having that take. That might be a video. That's a really funny idea. That is a really funny idea. All right. I don't. Yeah. What else you guys got for me? George, look at George in the chat, baby. Yeah, George has been pumping out some so rare content. We're gonna start our weekly show soon, George. Get excited. Get excited. The so rare sharps. Is that what we called it? The so rare sharps. Oh, I saw a really funny tweet. That's what I wanted to share this too. I thought this was pretty funny. So yesterday, this tweet comes on my timeline, and I was like, why did somebody do this? I like didn't know why are we making fun of Jeff Green, right? Somebody just tweeted that photo out. I was like, dude, let Jeff Green cook, man. He's been in the league for a while. Why are we making fun of him because he's balding? Do you know who tweeted this? Christian Brown of the Denver Nuggets, just trolling his old teammates. I might buy a Christian Brown jersey, right? He has been fun. He was wild at the championship parade. And now he's got jokes like this. I'm all in on Christian Brown. There you go. Who asked that question? Biggest? Was that you? Who asked the question about who do I buy in so rare? Go buy Christian Brown. There it is. Biggest bullish investor. Go buy Christian Brown. Maybe he's got jokes. He's coming for Jimmy Butler's belt. But I love that. That's good needling right there. I do think once you win a championship, you guys you're like friends for life, so you can make fun of each other and it's not a big deal. I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of that. Boston Bay said Bandy gained some weight. I don't think so. I think he's just a little fluffy right now. I think he's just a little fluffed up because he slept for like 40 hours yesterday. I think he was a little anxiety riddled while he was staying with my parents, which is so funny because it's just such a chill environment at my parents' house. And he had like a big yard to run around. But yeah, there we go. I don't know. Are we anything else you guys want to hit before we get out of here? Just a reminder, I know we normally don't do the NBA bit on Wednesday, but I miss you guys. So I'll be here tomorrow morning at 9. Wow, Boston base. Okay, that's a take. That's a take. But yeah, we will be back tomorrow. We'll also have Shot Tank tomorrow night. I'm excited to talk about I'm excited to have the boys back on Shot Tank. Haven't talked to them in a while. Bandy knows it's probably time for a walk. He like knew we were wrapping up here. Now he's coming over to get pet. What's going on, bro? It's a big stretch in there. All right. He's telling me the show's over. But yeah, it's good to be back. Thanks everybody for tuning in and for just being active in the chat. I'm sure we'll get some more stuff. Wow. Okay, Zach. Checking in to say hi and see how many grays your beard has gained. It's a lot, Zach. It's a lot. We get a lot going on down here. We get a lot that's over here and over here. We get a lot. We get a lot on the back too. Oh yeah, Draymond Green. That's pretty good. What? Wait, are you just making a joke because he's got gray hair? Or did I miss something? I said he was out 4 to 6 weeks, right, with that sprained ankle, and that Chris Paul is fine coming off the bench. I'm glad we figured that out. Everybody's real stressed out. We weren't going to know that. Let's just stay this zoomed in forever. Clooney beard. Okay, Zach. Zach, if you want to come in at the end of the show every week, every day, just say something nice like that. And I like this because it started out mean and then you called me George Clooney. That's the best way to insult me. Say something mean, say something nice. We leave on a good note. Speaking of leaving on a good note, let's call it there. Again, appreciate everyone being here. We'll be back tomorrow morning and then tomorrow night and then tomorrow. We're just going to be doing a lot of content now. I'm fresh. I had 4,572 Guinnesses, both from the factory and every pub across Ireland. And now I'm ready to cook, baby. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I was going to say happy Monday, but it's not. It's Thursday. See you tomorrow.